Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Joy. This is now my second check-in on the 26 in 2026 Project Pan. I have 3 different goals in this project. Some of the products here I would like to use up. Some of the products my goal is to hit pan on, and the remaining products is for me to use at least 26 times before I roll them out of the project. So let me now start my update with the products I intend to use up by the end of the year. Starting with this primer. So this is the Eliana Blur Makeup Primer. When I started, this is where I was. First check-in, that's where I am, and this is my second check-in. For this second check-in, I used this product 14 times. In my first check-in, I've used this 12 times. But looking at my progress, it looks like I've used more product in the first check-in. Next is the Mary Kay Honey Glow Finisher. This is also a primer. And it's the same story as the Eliana Blur Makeup Primer, where it seems like I've used more product in my first check-in than the second check-in. For this check-in, I've used this 13 times. So it's one usage less than the Eliana Blur Makeup Primer. In my first check-in, I also used this one 12 times. So this is now 25 uses. Then I have 2 foundation in the project. Let me start with the one that I'm almost done, but not quite, because there's still product here. I didn't mark my usage in my first check-in because it wasn't really visible. But for this check-in, this is where I am. So this is my second check-in. From the looks of it, it may still have 2 to 3 uses left. But I'm pretty confident that I can use this up in my next check-in. I'm even considering if I should actually try to scrape whatever is there, but let me think about it. If I'm gonna do that, I might not actually, but I prefer this over this other foundation. Now, for this LA Girl foundation, I've used this 11 times in this check-in. In my first check-in, I've used this 12 times. So, yeah, looks like this would get me 26 uses. That's my estimate, but I may be wrong. Now, for this Etude House Double Lasting Foundation, this is where I was when I started the project, and for my second check-in, this is where I am. So I didn't mark my first check-in because it doesn't look like I actually used this, but I did use this 13 times in my first check-in. And for this check-in, I've used this 17 times. So I'm now at 30 uses. Yet, that's the progress I made. This is quite thick, so it's a bit difficult to use actually, plus the shade is not really my shade. I mean, I'm not happy when I wear this, probably because it's quite thick. I prefer light to medium coverage, but this is giving me full coverage if I really do it properly, because I'm getting very little product from here. So that's why that's all I used up for 2 check-ins. I'm considering not using this up anymore, but let's see how I feel on my third check-in. I am now using this with a sponge. I was using this with a brush in my first check-in. In my second check-in, towards the last few uses, probably like 5 to 7 uses, I've started to use this with a sponge. And it looks it looks better. I mean, it's not as thick. And I seem to be getting more product actually from there. Now, I have two concealers in the project, so let me start with this one. I did not use this as much as I thought I would because I only used this 6 times. For both concealers actually, I've also used the other one 6 times. So this one I've measured and I was at 5. So this was 5 millimeter last time and now it's 4 millimeter. So I've only reduced it by 1. But for the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, this one, there's no change. I didn't mark where I am, not in my first and not in this second check-in. So I was also at 6 uses for this check-in, but I've used this more in my first check-in. So it doesn't look like I'm progressing well for the other concealer, just like the foundation. Just one of the foundations seems to be progressing quite well. Now for the color corrector, this LA Girl color corrector, this one, I cannot tell how much more product is in here, but I've been using this. I've used this 12 times in this check-in. I've used this more in my first check-in at 21 uses, but this time I've just used this 12 times. But the good thing is I'm reaching for it because I wasn't reaching for that last year. And then for the eyebrow powder that I am working on for this one have the best progress, I would say, because you can now see the pan. I have expanded it and it's much clearer that there are more product that I've used from here. I actually intentionally been working on that section so that when I give you my update, it's much more visible. But I still continue to get some product down here. So this one is getting thinner, but it's not yet visible right now. So for this one, I've used this 26 times. Yeah. Yes, 26 times. Last time I was at 31 uses. The next would be the Wet n Wild Contouring Palette Contour. So for this one, I think it looks like I've expanded the pan a bit, but it's not as visible, but I did expand this just a little bit. And this section is now much thinner. So, and I'm also been heating my brush there just to expand the pan. Perhaps in my third check-in, it will be much more visible. I really just hope that this doesn't crack, because that's what I notice when there are very few product or that's becoming thinner, it will eventually crack. For this one, I've used this 19 times. In my first check-in, I've used that 18 times. Then for the highlight, so for that part, I've repressed it into this Mary Kay pan. And this is what this looks like now. If we compare it with what it looks like in my previous check-in, there were a lot of red streaks there. But now there are fewer. I didn't get to use this as much as I did in my first check-in, because for this check-in, I've used this only 6 times. So this one, I haven't really been reaching for it. Now for the highlighter that I want to use up, this Urban Decay highlighter, this is Sin. This one, I have expanded the pan. So it's very visible that I have expanded the pan. I've used this 16 times for this check-in. In my first check-in, I've used this 19 times. Now for this one, it's becoming very harder to get product from here. So it's a little bit a struggle now, but I've still been reaching for this, and I really want to use this up by the end of the year. I mean, when I say I really want, it's really more because I know I can if I focus on this one. Now, coming on to the lip products I want to use up, let me start with the Maybelline Bullet Lipstick. This one, the shade is Lust for Blush. For this one, I've used this 16 times, but I didn't progress as much as I thought I would because I managed to only reduce this one by 1 millimeter. So I was at 7 last time and it's now 6 millimeter. To flatten this, that's what that measurement is. However, for the Kiko Milano, this one, I also used this 16 times, but I've managed to now reduce this by 4 millimeter. So last time I was at 8 millimeter, now it's 4 to flatten this one. So this one, it's quite soft. So that's one of the reason why I am reducing the amount of product compared to the Maybelline Lust for Blush Bullet Lipstick. For this one, I really hope I will be able to use this up sooner. For the Maybelline Fit Me, I know it may take some time. So that one I've used 16 times as well, as I said. For the color collection, this one I intend to also use up, but initially, but now I'm thinking of just hitting 26 uses. And then I'll declutter this because it's starting to have some smell. But I'm thinking of hitting 26 uses and that's it. So for this one, I've used this 5 times rather in this check-in. So in my first check-in, I've used this 6 times. So I'm now at 11 uses. 15 more uses to go. I'm now working on this part. There's 1 millimeter difference from when I started this. So if you look at the picture, you would see that I haven't touched that last time, but for this, you now can see that I've worked on it, and there's a reduction of 1 millimeter. And then for this one, this NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream, the shade is Sao Paulo. No way to show you how much product more is in here. But in terms of uses, I've used this 7 times. Still less number of uses from my first check-in because I was at 15 uses. But this one, I still intend to use up. And then for the lip gloss, this one I didn't get to measure where I am now because I forgot. I didn't store this way, but I've been storing it that way. So yeah, but this one I've only used 3 times, so I don't think there's really much difference. But from the looks of it, this one I'm confident that I can still use this up by the end of the year. So this is now a total of 13 uses. And then last product I want to use up is the Essence lip liner. For this one, I was at 98 millimeter in my previous check-in, and now I'm at 95 millimeter. So there's a difference of 3 millimeter, but I only used this 4 times. I think I did mention it in my first check-in that I didn't really enjoy this one. It's a bit dry, but it's softer than the other lip liner I have in the project. So the next products will be the products I want to heat pan on. And they're all blushes. So let me start with this Milano Romantic Rose Powder Blush. This is what it looks like. From my first check-in to this check-in, I'm not sure if the difference is visible. But I've been using a different brush. And I think it's helping actually for me to get more product. Because whenever I wear my blushes, I'm really wearing blushes. It's not subtle, but I don't mind. It's okay. It lasts longer because there are more products on my cheeks. At the end of the day, I can still see my blush. So that's how much blush I'm using. I have used this 14 times. So I'm now at 30 uses on this one. There's still a long way to get me to hit pan on this one from the looks of it. So I don't mind. I'm still enjoying working on this one. When I rank the blushes I work on, this was not rank high, but with constant uses this time, I'm beginning to love this more than probably the others that were ranked higher. Now for this blush, it's the same story. I'm now starting to enjoy working on this one. This was ranked low because of this shade, but this time I don't mind. There are days that I make it look better, but there are days also, or the initial look when I put it on, it looks like somebody punched me. But eventually, with better blending or proper blending, it looks much better. Anyway, so for this one, I've used this the most. For this check-in, I've used this 8 times. This one, 4 times, and this one, 3 times. Now, in my assessment, it looks like there's progress here and a bit of this one and not here, obviously, based on the number of uses. But it looks like I may be able to hit pan on this one by the end of the year. So those are the products I want to hit pan on, and these are the products I want to use at least 26 times. The one I have used the most for this check-in among this 5 product is the highlighter from the Color Collection. This one. So this one I really enjoy using. I've used this 12 times. In my previous check-in, I was at 5 uses. So now, I am at 17 uses. So definitely, in my next check-in, I would be able to roll this out. I enjoy it, but I would like to work on my other products as well. So I'm gonna roll that out when I hit 26 uses. And then for this Alouette face paint, this one I only use twice. So I have forgotten that I have this in the project. So I haven't been reaching for this, and that's the reason why I only use this twice. I was at 6 uses last time, so it's just a total of 8 uses. Still a long way to go. I don't think I'll be able to roll this out in my next check-in. Then for the lip liner, it's similar to the Alouette. This one, Jaunty Blue, I've used 3 times. Previously, I was at 4 uses. And one of the reasons why I tend not to use this, because it's quite hard. It's really hard to use this. This is not a soft lip liner. This is like, I don't know, a color pencil, because it's really hard. But this looks great together with the Colourgram glass tint. For this one, I've used this 3 times as well. So I've worked on them together. So I'm just at 8 uses. This one I actually enjoy using, but I've been reaching for the Kiko Milano more than this one. So that's the reason why I've only used that 3 times. And then for the Careline Contour Stick, this one, I've used this 6 times. So I'm now at 15 uses. I am considering, well, I don't want to say now that I'm definitely going to work on this more than the Wet n Wild, but I'll try to focus on this as well, so that I'll be able to roll this out in my next check-in. So there, that's my update for my 26 in 2026 project pan. In my next check-in, I have an opportunity for me to roll out the products I hit my goal on, and change my goal on some of the product. I've already shared with you 2 products. One, definitely, I'm just going to use 26 times. The other one, I'm not sure yet, but likely I'll probably do that. I'll just use it 26 times rather than using them up. Okay, so that's it. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!